Hi, Kurt. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Of course.
For people of India and the viewers which we want to connect with, can you give us a little bit information about yourself? Like maybe introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Kurt Haynes. I'm the Executive Vice President of Global Sales for Ashley Furniture. I've been with Ashley for 39 years. Been in many different roles with Ashley Furniture, from manufacturing to distribution, even running retail stores in the U.S. And it's been a passion of mine to get involved with the international sales division, and I've been doing that for about a year now. So it's been great. I've learned a lot in this year, and I think it's really a give and take from both our clients and myself with my knowledge that I can bring and the knowledge that they have as well.
Great. It's great to have you here. And for those who don't know me, I'm Amruth Sampige. I'm co-founder of Dash Square, and I'm one of the licensees of Ashley worldwide. What is the biggest lesson you've learned while leading Ashley's global expansion?
Really, leading Ashley's global expansion, even if, again, with my experience in the U.S., there's a lot of diversity in the United States, of course, too, and we're the number one retailer of furniture in the United States. We're the number one manufacturer of furniture in the world. But what I've learned internationally is certainly the cultures. They're all a little bit different. But I'm really, we're learning what's unique about each one of them, and really making sure that our stores are set up for that local market. Really making sure that our stores match, if you want to call it, the culture of those countries.
What do you do to do that?
A lot of it's going to be, there's core products, of course, that we'll sell, we'll call it anywhere in the world, maybe 50% of our line. And then there's uniqueness about the different parts of the country. No different than, we were at Starbucks today, or you go to another business that's a global business. Even, we talked about McDonald's or Burger King or Kentucky Fried Chicken. They put the flavor, if you want to call it that, of the market that they're in. And I think we can do that as well. We have done that. We're going to do product designs and things of that nature that match the market that we're in. So we want to be able to cater, if you will, cater to the market that we're in.
Is there anything specific you're doing for the Indian market?
That's why we're here. We're here in India. We just had you guys meet us at our Vietnam show. We've met you at many other international furniture markets. We also have offices here in India, which we're very, very proud of. We employ well over 500 people in this market. We're working directly with you as our customer to make sure that we are providing the products that are right for your market. So we'll be designing products and making sure that we're picking out the right products that meet your clients' needs.
So it's been roughly about a year since you've taken on this role.
Yep.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned in the past 1 year?
That one size does not fit all. Okay. I mean, that's really what I've learned is that, and it's my second visit to India, and the hospitality, just of the market in general, and of course of you being our valued customer has been incredible. In fact, when people ask me, I've traveled, I think, to 18 different countries now in the last year, maybe a couple more. And they ask me, what has been your favorite? And I think it's India because of the people. I mean, I've really enjoyed the hospitality, like I said, of coming to India. And I'm sure I'm going to make it at least once a year, if not twice a year, because we have big growth plans and we want to be part of that with you guys as well.
So as we all know, Ashley has been extremely successful in the US market.
Yep.
You all have been the number one furniture brand for 18 years straight?
Yes. Yep, correct.
And you've also been successful in many other markets. You've been successful in China. You've been successful in, I think, in international markets, including that of the Middle East. What are the similarities and differences that you've seen in these markets?
It boils down to the partners we have in those specific markets and the belief they have in the brand. We can certainly cater our brand to really any market, but we have had success, and we're focusing on the markets that we are successful in, India being one of them. Middle East is very strong for us. Many parts of Latin America are very strong with us, but we want to continue to build where we're already strong, and then other countries will come in later on down the road. But But, part of the reason we're here, and we're here multiple times in India, is we know there's a lot of opportunity here, and we want to share our best practices that we've had in the U.S. with the success there and other markets, and get a collaborative effort, because at the end of the day, we want to be one brand anywhere we are in the world, just like other national brands or international brands have done, is that we want to bring our brand together and share, again, our best practices with you guys.
You've obviously been successful in many international markets, mainly the US, India to a certain extent, and also in the Middle East and Latin America, and also in China. When it comes to India, how do you handle such a complex and competitive market?
I think the big thing is getting our brand to be a known brand. I mean, if you were to ask me what is our goal here, it's to be a household brand name, just like many other international brands. So, having the right marketing dollars, or putting the right marketing efforts forward, making sure people get into our stores to see what we're all about. And, I think that's going to be our biggest challenge. It's a big market. A lot of the locations that I say we, because we are
Correct.
that we have for Dash Square and Ashley Furniture are great locations. And you want to be front and center. You want to be visible for the customer. So I think we've got a lot of good components. We just got to get people to come on in to the Ashley store.
What do you tell to people who are ripping off designs from Ashley?
If they're taking our designs, there's a lot more to it than just the design of the product. There's the quality of the product too, because people will knock stuff off all the time. It happens in many, many industries. So we got to continue to sell what our differentiation is, and our quality, our standards, how we manufacture the product, the fabrics, the seat decks, just the overall engineering of our product is not easily knocked off. So I think, that's what we're here. We want to make sure our associates are well educated to educate the consumer. And again, that comes into our differentiator as a brand, but nobody would know it unless we are good at articulating it to the customer.
Being resellers of Ashley, we have realized that Ashley caters to a lot of international guidelines and standards. For our viewers, could you elaborate on a few?
Yeah, there are many, many standards out there, and we test fabric, we test foam, we test wood quality, and we really do it to a commercial grade, not just residential. That to me is a differentiator. I mean, in all of our factories around the world, it's amazing to watch just the testing that it goes through. Recliner is going to go through many, many cycles, to equate to like 20 years of life in someone's home, and it still holds up. Fabrics from fraying and things like that, and foam, just that has the resiliency and holds up in someone's home. So many, many tests go on with our product to make sure that it's going to last the test of time, because we know families are active and kids are jumping on furniture, and we want to be a part of that, and we want to make sure it lasts and that they have those family moments on our product.
Correct. Coming to India, again, this is a very India-specific question. We have noticed that a lot of brands in India started online, but they were forced to open offline stores. How do you think Ashley should balance their online and offline presence in India?
The term that I hear often used is Omni-channel, meaning you're on both. What we've seen, even the U.S. and other markets that have developed their online channels, is that it's typically in your smaller, low-end goods. Average ticket is very, very low when people are buying online. We still believe that, the reason the online guys, or if you want to call them that, are doing brick and mortar stores is because people want to touch, feel, and see the product. It's a big purchase. It's one of, the top 3 purchases, usually your home, a vehicle, and furniture. So people want to make sure they're making the right investment. So they want to go and touch and feel the product. So I think that's the advantage. But then if you combine it with online, you have the opportunity to add on, the accessories and other small items and things like that to make sure the room is complete, right? It's selling the whole package. We want to make sure the way people see it in our stores, the sofas, the lamps, the rugs, the bedroom set, that it all ties together. And then when they get it home, it's what they expected.
Again, a quick question with respect to this. In the US, have you seen a big shift towards online purchase in the last few years? or is the online offline ratio still the same?
I think it's gradually, of course, there was nothing, probably 15 years ago to what it is today. I can see it being 30% of the market or 30% of the share eventually. I would say it's probably 10 to 15 today, depending on who you'd ask and what you would include in that number, because home furnishings is a big category, not just furniture. It's, all of the linens and everything else that they consider home furnishings. But I think it'll top out, and it's going to be, a good combination of both, online and in store.
Do you see online ever disrupting offline, like what has happened in other businesses when it comes to furniture?
I think we just got to be prepared for it, and we got to be able to be really good at both. If someone's looking at something online and they want to chat, I think there's ways to strengthen, your store to make sure that, our sales associates in stores are also able to communicate with people online. So it's transparent whether they're in the store and they want to finish the sale at home or vice versa. So I think as long as it's that omni-channel and the feel is the same, the look is the same online or in store, it can be really successful.
So as a Dashquare, like being one of your preferred partners in India, what advice do you want to give me, going forward, especially with probably a small percentage of online, threat?
We got to stay up with the technology. We have AI, artificial intelligence, and all of these tools coming our way. We can either be afraid of them or we can embrace them. And I think the more you embrace them, we as a corporation, Ashley Furniture Industries, are embracing all of those technology. We want to understand the data, right? And there's a ton of data coming our way, many artificial intelligence type data sources that we have to embrace. India would be no difference. In fact, probably a lot of it is headquartered here because of the high tech industry that's in here, in this market. So I would say the further you can get ahead of that, the better.
So coming to India, we know that Ashley, apart from furniture, also has other presence in India. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, we have a lot of our finance, parts of our finance division, parts of our design team are here. We have human resources here, but a lot of our support functions, distribution support, transportation support, IT support, of course, many big IT support here, both in Chennai and Bangalore. We have offices in both cities today. And we also have manufacturing here, many vendors. I think we have 60 different manufacturing vendors that we pull product from today. So if you add that, there's thousands of people that we rely on every day in India to help run our business and get us the relevant products at the best prices.
I know you're new to the international market, but what do you think has made Dashquare be Ashley's preferred partner in India?
I think the growth mindset that Dashquare has, and just the people that I've met, very open-minded, for change, and receiving it very well. It's retail is detail, and we're here today and we're going through product, making sure that we're relevant for the customers that are coming in our store. But if you have a closed mind, it's not going to work. You guys, the entire Dashquare team has a very open mind and are open to the trends and everything else that we're seeing. And then we get the input from you because you're the local experts for the marketplace, and we want to combine that together so that we have the best experience for our customer and our associates.
I think my team would be really happy to hear that. Coming to it, what is that one thing that you look for in a partner?
Like mindset, really. It's, we have a lot of licensees. If you were to say how many licensees do we have across the world, there's over 200 licensees that we have. Have they all been perfect? No. I'll just be honest. But it's a very small percentage. And but we know, and I've had a lot of conversations with you, Amruth, over the years, or over the last year and a half, and because I've been involved a little over a year, and I can tell that you guys are the right mindset. You really know, and part of leadership is knowing who the right partners, who the right team is, who the right associates are, and like mindset is sometimes hard to find, but I think we definitely have that in our relationship.
Thank you so much for that. We always felt that connection with Ashley. That's one reason, when we got to know the brand close to 10 years back, we really wanted to bring the brand to India and open the first home store here.
Yeah.
Another question is, how important is local expertise, especially for you all when it comes to your stores worldwide, not just in India, but how important is local expertise for you?
It's critical because even though I run international, there's no way I can know. I think last time I Googled how many countries there are in the world, someone said 223, another person said 180, and I think Google said 195.
Yeah.
But I don't know that there's any expert on all of those countries. So I've been asked before, when in other countries, what do I think? Well, we have to rely on local expertise because, that's why we want a partner that has the local expertise versus transplanting someone from one country to another country and expecting them to have, that local knowledge. So it's really critical to the success.
So if you're looking at maybe 3 things that in terms of expertise that you're looking for in a partner, what would those 3 things be?
One, growth focus, because if they're not growth focused, I look at, what are they looking at for the 3, the 5, and the 10-year forecast? Because we're all in it for the long haul, right? And so that's for sure one thing. And then, it's easy to go in their stores and, in your stores in this case, and see what is the mindset of the people, what is the attitude and the culture, and then, do they have, the resources and the wherewithal to be able to grow the market? So I think those would be the 3 that I would really look for.
So when it comes to India, what is your 5-year plan? What is it that Ashley has planned? Or where do you see Ashley 5 years from now?
Where do I see it? Well, hopefully you and I see it the same.
Yeah.
In fact, part of our visits when we come here is to strategize together. We spent most of today strategizing on what that plan and what that vision, we'll call it a vision. And the vision at Ashley is we want to be the best furniture company, the best home furnishings company. And, we already talked about it. Ashley Furniture is #1 retailer in the U.S., #1 manufacturer in the world. My vision for India is that we have a path to be the #1 brand in India. And I believe, because I have very high expectations, and I know you do as well, that we can do that. We can figure that out. And that's really where I see us. In 5 years, that might be a little aggressive, but in 10 years, I think that's very, very possible. We're here to help, work together on a plan that can achieve that.
Coming to your plan, how important do you think local sourcing or local manufacturing is key in solving this puzzle?
When I look at where things are sourced, who makes that decision ultimately is the consumer.
Yeah.
The consumer is going to decide, where is it important for things to be made? And it really comes down to what's the best quality, who has the best expertise, and there's certain products in India that dominate, right? I mean, certain reclaimed looks and vintage looks that are very, very popular in India that they do a great job on. But there might be other, leather or other categories that are better in other markets, metal, glass, those kind of things. So we have a sourcing team all over the world that's going to find, the best quality, the best resources to make sure that our products are relevant for whatever market.
My question was more in terms of the changing geopolitical situation where we have tariffs, every new country, adding tariffs or duties or whatever it's known in each country, making it at times, very expensive for someone to import. So in that context, what I meant was how easy is transfer of technology. Assume you're making some really good leather sofas somewhere else, or really good upholstered sofa somewhere else, or some excellent case goods which are right now coming from Vietnam. How easy or tough would it be to transfer that technology to a market like India, where anyway manufacturing is not that expensive,
Yeah.
and rolling it out? Maybe not just to cater to India, but also to the world.
on this trip that I'm on right now. In fact, before I came here, I was in our Vietnam market, and we have, just like India, we have offices in Vietnam, and I was working with our sourcing team, and that's a great question. I mean, I asked them the same question, and we have some very aspirational goals for the international division. And the more we grow, the more efficient and effective we can be with product. So we do need more manufacturing across the world. In India, as I said earlier, is a market we're already doing manufacturing, and I can see that expanding. And there's other countries as well where I see opportunity to expand. And again, it's going to be based on the local expertise. And of course, tariffs play into that as well, as where are we shipping products to? And of course, that becomes a very, I don't want to say it's complicated, but where our products are shipping to today, we have to make sure that we're eyes wide open on all of the variables to where the best places. And tariffs is a key component of that too. So
maybe we can hope for a lot more manufacturing in India in the future.
Of course. Yeah. Great people. It's about natural resources and resources in the marketplace too. You got labor, of course, is big. Are the resources easily to come by in that market? Is the real estate, proximity, ports, shippability? I mean, there's a lot of variables to where we would manufacture. And India, of course, has established itself already as a dominant player in manufacturing.
So coming now to trends, right? What do you think are probably the 5 most emerging trends going forward, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 years?
I think there's a lot with tying, technology into the home, right? You're seeing more data ports and charging ports, speakers built into items, durable fabrics, washable fabrics, modular furniture, storage. I mean, there's quite a few things that I think a lot of these have been pretty prevalent in this market. And that's what we're learning too, is that we need to incorporate more and more of that into our product. Sleep, I think, mattresses and educating our customers on how we spend a third of our life, right? Sleeping. So I think, when we look at a category that I feel we're getting more and more dominant in as Ashley Furniture is the whole sleep category and affordability, but with the right technology of sleep and comfort, that I think we can be affordable to a great percentage of the population with our sleep category.
So what are the innovations you all have done in sleep? Like, noticeable innovation, which I think Ashley has done in sleep probably in the last year, or innovations that we can see maybe in the next couple of years?
Well, the cooling technologies and the different fabrics and foam that's used today, the memory foams, the cooling technology, copper infused, green tea infused. I mean, there's many different components that we've pillow programs, but in our world, we're selling a sleep system. And I think we're going to have that complete package when you talk about the mattress, the adjustable base, getting your body into this zero gravity, which, is good for your circulation and relieving stress and all of that. I think that's big. And then the pillow, is 30% of your spinal alignment too. So having the right pillow, the right sheets, the right mattress protector, and, I hate to say it, many countries that I've been to, I haven't asked a question in India yet, but, I've asked even owners of stores in other countries, and I said, do you have a mattress protector on your mattress? And they'll be like, no. And they've had it for 5 or 6 years. I don't want to get into details of, what comes out of our body, as far as the, dead skin and dust mites and all of those things. But, those are things that I think we can educate the consumer on, because it's a sleep system. Again, the mattress, the adjustable base, the mattress protector, the sheets, the pillow, all of that is very, very important to the overall health.
It's good that you said educate the customers.
Yes.
We have noticed in India that maybe 10 years back, customers were not willing to be educated. And we have seen a changing trend that now they want to be educated. Do you see something similar in the US, or it was always different?
I'd love to say, even though, we're the number one, furniture provider in the United States, or number one retailer of furniture, I don't assume anything. I assume, people aren't going to remember that stuff, right? We have a saying at Ashley, tell someone something 8 times and then start over. So it's, it's constant education, because technology's changing, trends are changing, and we want to keep it fresh and new. Years ago, furniture was more of an heirloom piece, right? You'd keep a table, you'd keep it, and hand it down from generation to generation. Now, I think it's more of a trending industry, right? Almost like clothing.
Correct.
People want to be proud when someone walks into their home. Wow, where did you get that? And that word of mouth and people being excited. That's something I'm most proud of at Ashley too, is that we touch so many lives. We get to be in their home. Whatever celebration they're celebrating, is a big deal. Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. It's gathered around a dining room table. It's gathered around a living room. It could be watching that cricket match on TV in your living room. All of those moments are huge moments, and we're just happy we can be a part of it.
But do you feel there is a change in customer buying behavior, and maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, especially after COVID?
I think if anything, it's more so about being home and with the family. Yeah. And it was through COVID, but I think, you're seeing people, they want a good experience too. So when they come into a store, they want a good experience. It can't be the same old traditional furniture store that it was before. One of the things that we've been talking about is inviting more people into our stores. And I continue to say our stores because, we're partners.
Yeah.
And we want to share what's been successful for us. You guys shared some of the events that you guys have done in stores, but we want this to be a community meeting place as well. That's what I envision our stores to be, because one, it gets people into our environment. Even if it's other businesses, we want to invite people in. So I think that what's changing is the best shopping malls. We have shopping malls in the U.S. that are dying because they don't have a good experience. We have others that have restaurants and energy and events and, family events and all those kind of things. That's what we have to invite people in here to do, is have an experience when they come to the store. That's, the way I see it changing. I'm passionate about that.
I think we're all passionate about that.
Yeah.
So on a personal note, right, how long have you worked with Ashley?
This is my 39th year.
39th year.
Yeah.
So it's been a really long journey.
Yeah.
So if you could give your younger self an advice on leadership or on any other thing 39 years back, what would it be?
I think about that one often, and you're asked the question, what would you change about your life if you had to change anything? I don't look in the rearview mirror too often and say, I wish I would have done something differently, but your leadership style changes over the years. And, in your early days, I would say you're more focused on yourself. How can I grow? And not that you're going to run over anybody to try to get to that position that you want, but you do tend to focus more on yourself maybe in your early days in leadership. Today, even the last 15 years or maybe 20 years of my leadership has been focused on developing other people. Because it's we have a saying at Ashley as well. We call them Wanikisms. The owner of our companies are the Waniks. You can do the work of 2 people. Beyond that, you have to do the work through people.
Through people.
So you have to develop people around you. So I look at it as servant leadership. You can read books upon books upon books about serving other people. And we talked about growth focus, because when you grow, you provide opportunities for other people. We both talked about that today, and you shared many great stories that you have, Amruth, through people in your company, and seeing someone buy a car or buy a new home or get married and start a family and have the wherewithal to do that. I feel it's our obligation as leaders to provide opportunity for people, and I think that's the big change for me, is because I didn't realize a lot of that. And when you're a young leader, you're still learning from other people. But I see even the owners of Ashley are very, very dedicated to serving their communities, serving their associates, serving their customers for what they want and what they need to develop the brand and develop the company. But it's through people. It's a people business.
You spoke about Warnickisms.
Yeah.
Okay, one of my favorite is you get what you inspect, not what you expect.
Yeah.
I would want you to maybe talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we're and it ties in with another one, which is called dirty fingernail, which most people are like, dirty fingernail? What are you talking about, dirty fingernail? But it's really being present. Every leader in Ashley Furniture inspects what they expect. And they're also dirty fingernail, meaning they're going to where the work is done. You know, whether it's in a manufacturing plant, a distribution center, you know, even being at a customer when a truck arrives, being in the field like we are today. Dirty fingernail doesn't mean you're, you know, getting dirty and muddy, but it's, you know, putting a piece of furniture together every once in a while.
Yeah.
You told me you've done even deliveries recently. Yeah. I've reassembled bar stools in stores. It's just about being present. It's going and seeing what's happening in the field.
I think it's good to get a workout, right? Once in a while.
Yes. And this morning we, you know, Amruth, when we were at a market recently, he's talking about, hey, when you're in town, let's go on a walk in the morning. But I just think it's important from a camaraderie and getting to know each other. But I enjoyed that because, you know, it's being physically fit in this business too is very important, and it's health, mind, it's wellness, all of those things, which are very, very important. So I enjoyed that this morning. I
enjoyed that too.
I got to know India a little bit better.
Right? I think it's been a couple of years since I went for a morning walk.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you like, you know, I think maybe we're doing another one tomorrow.
Yes, for sure.
Quick question about Ashley. Are we going to get back to Ashley? What is that one thing about Ashley you wish more people knew?
There's so many, but I think it's to inspire the love of home and enrich the lives of those around us, that all of us at Ashley take that very personal. You know, we look at, you know, being a part of people's lives and being able to give back. I don't think most people know how much Ashley has given back in the communities that they're in. You know, there's different Heartworks. In fact, that's the name of the association. Heartworks, part of the Mayo Clinic that we give back. Very, very much things that we're proud of. Diabetes research, which is a worldwide thing, and a lot of people around the world, just because of diets, you know, diets and exercise that you're talking about, is finding a cure for diabetes. But a lot of the cure is, you know, educating people. But we're also doing a ton of research that is funded by the owners of Ashley and Ashley Furniture. So I think those are things that, you know, people don't know about us, and some things that we're really proud of is giving back. It's not just, you know, making a profit. It's giving back and supporting our communities. I
saw Al wearing a Ashley for Arts t-shirt.
Yes.
That's also one of the charities.
Yeah, Ashley for the Arts is a great, you know, local in the United States, but even local to where Ashley's headquartered. Just a big concert event where a lot of large bands come and play in the community. But schools and wrestling programs and sports programs and all of them volunteer, and based on the number of hours they work at this event, the proceeds go to their programs.
Got it.
It could be traveling international, and a lot of those people do that. Robotics is a big program that we have back in the U.S., but it's to continue to educate and build those skills, if you will, and making sure the youth and the next generation has the skills they need. But Ashley for the Arts is a huge community event, which has been really good for us.
Yeah, I think I probably want to visit that sometime.
Yes, you're going to be coming back for it, and you'll even get to work at it too.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, it's a great event to work at. I've worked for the 15 years we've had it. I've worked at it every single year.
Yeah, you know, it's surprising at times you tell me that you work for 39 years. You barely look 39. Okay,
yeah.
So
thank you.
So tell me, what motivates you, you know, after 39 years, what motivates you to get up in the morning and keep going?
You know, a couple things. You know, one, we talked about servant leadership. I just, you know, I want to continue to mentor and grow other people. And even though I've worked there 39 years, I still am relatively young. And And I don't know what I would do with myself because I do run at a very high pace, and there's so much more to do. I just see how much more we can do and especially now that I'm in international, and I've set some pretty lofty goals for me and my team, which they believe in. But even being an example to my own kids, right? I mean, my own kids and people around them, I see how I can influence them. Now they're getting older already, 30 and 27, but I still enjoy mentoring them. And of course, that's the number one, family, right? I mean, family's always number one. We want to make sure we're setting the right example for them. I think I've done that. But now as I grow with Ashley over the next 10 or 15 years, I want to mentor people. And, another saying we have is don't pay tuition twice.
Correct.
So if there's things that I've learned over the years and I can educate someone, so making mistakes is not a bad thing, right? I mean, it's something we learn from as long as they're not too tragic. So, but I think there's a lot more to offer.
So thank you, Kurt. It's been a pleasure talking to you. But before we end, I want to put myself in the spot and I want to ask you, do you have any questions for me? Maybe I'm putting you in the spot right now.
Not really. I mean,
is there something you'd want to know from me? Something that you think would benefit the people watching this?
Why don't Amruth, you tell us what your vision is for the next 5 to 10 years and what we can do for you?
I think for us, one of the visions that we have for ourselves is to be the most aspiring furniture brand in India. And that's been our goal. It really works well for us that we work with brands like Ashley. It's been a learning journey for us. There were been many things I know for a fact that we were not doing, we were not paying attention to till we started this partnership about 10 years back. So from our point of view, that's been our keen goal, that we want to be the most aspirational furniture brand in India.
Aspirational. Explain that. What is aspirational?
When I say, we want to set standards which people want to follow. It's as simple as that. Everything right from the experience you deliver to customers in the store, the quality of products that we deliver, the timelines that we keep, and at the end of the day, the after-sales service and overall the experience one has.
We talked about giving back, and in our meetings earlier, I know we saw some, involved in some of the youth sports and things like that. What are some other things that we can do and you can do in this local market, in your local markets, to be a part of the community and give back?
We are very, very keen. We've had a tie-up with multiple organizations in the past few years. We ran an exchange offer some time back where we exchange products, refurbish them and send them to charities, mainly orphanages, old age homes.
Yeah.
We want to, we've given away mattresses. So these are things that, we want to look at. Also, from a personal standpoint of view, as Dashquare, and I speak this, keeping in mind my two other co-founders, that we are very, very keen on uplifting people who work for us. We have a personal goal, which I discussed with you earlier. I don't want to say it out, but that's a personal target that we have set, that we really want to uplift them and want them to grow with us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, really, you're talking about servant, being really a servant business, servant leadership, and giving back to your communities, because that's where I think it all ends at the end of the day is, what we're going to be remembered for, right? At the end of the day is, and we want, infinite business. I mean, when we say infinite, you look at, many companies, and I'm sure there's a lot in India. I know there's a lot in the United States that didn't make it, right? Sears and many right. others. Even a lot of furniture retailers that didn't make it. And, something we can all be proud of is that our brands, we want it to sustain through the generations, the long companies that have been around a long, long time, the Coca-Colas and all of those type of things, the McDonald's and things that have a sustainable plan. So, we talked about technology and we talked about other things that can, get in our way. That's why it's so important to stay ahead of the trends, right? Or stay on top of the trends at least.
Is there anything else you feel we have missed out on talking today?
No, I think we got it covered. I think we covered the whole gamut.
Yeah. So thank you, Kurt. Thank you again, for doing this. And I think we have a delicious dinner waiting for us after this.
All right. Appreciate it, Amruth. Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.